Hey everybody, this is Arthur. How you doing this morning? I want to confront the cop-out once again that a lot of conservatives love to hide behind when it comes to pushing back on so-called same-sex marriage or the normalization of homosexuality. You have lawmakers like U.S. Senator Ted Cruz, who a couple months ago said, well, I'm libertarian on this. I think we should just leave consenting adults alone. It shouldn't matter. And I go back to 2019 when Ben Shapiro said to Stanford University at a Young Americans for Liberty forum that criminalizing consensual acts between adults without externalities is losing the culture war. But sex always has externalities. When a man cheats on his wife with another woman, he's harmed that family. He's harmed the kids. And it harms society. It isn't a private matter. We have seen the redefinition of marriage that allows two men to cosplay as a couple, and then they traffic children from their natural parents so that they can have them for themselves. That harms the kids. And it's harming society because it's pushing this notion that children are commodities. Children are human beings. They are gifts from God. They are the fundamental society for the fundamental element for every society. You see, folks, it's not a private matter. So it's a cop-out. It is appropriate for governments, whether state or federal, to provide a proper definition of marriage. It is appropriate for governments to provide a clear definition of male and female. These are appropriate metrics because governments are supposed to protect our rights. And you cannot protect the natural rights of any individual if you undermine the family. Can't do it. So it's time for us to confront conservatives who want to fall back on, well, I don't think the government should be involved in marriage at all. Well, the government was involved in the definition of marriage for 2 centuries. At least in the United States before Obergefell. The government was routinely involved, and there wasn't a problem until very recently when loud, obnoxious, abusive LGBT activists insisted on a fundamental redefinition to normalize their perversion and to promote cultural Marxism. We have to have the courage of our convictions here, folks. Libertarianism works when we're talking about economic models. But when we're talking about moral order, even the premier libertarian, Murray Rothbard, the state's #1 enemy, he candidly admitted that libertarianism is not designed to speak to cultural questions. That's not its job. Its only interest is to limit the state as much as possible. And my counter argument is a proper role of the state is a definition and protection of the family and a protection and promotion of natural law and natural right. This is in the Declaration of Independence. The United States is founded on a recognition of the laws of nature and nature's God. We appeal to God as the authority. We're not arbitrarily doing whatever we want with no regard for any order. So it's time for us to have some courage about this. We shouldn't hide behind the libertarian crash out because we're afraid of people calling us names. Or we're afraid of, well, what if people use the government to start mandating drag queen story hour? Well, that's why the role of the citizen is to step in and to ensure that the government does not violate our rights. The framers of our country understood this. Go back to the Declaration of Independence. When governments become inimical to their ends, it is the right of the people to abolish and create a new government. So we can't allow that to be a cop-out. We can't hide behind that anymore. There is a role for the state. There is a role for the state to engage and enforce a moral order. That is appropriate. It doesn't mean we have to criminalize everything, and it certainly does not mean we have to put cameras in everybody's bedroom. that wasn't necessary in order to enforce laws against adultery, fornication, sodomy, abortion. There was an understanding that moral collapse and corruption has consequences, and they can be discerned. So those are my thoughts today. Let me know what you think in the comments below.